Hey everyone, it's Tina, and this is my first time going live on Substack, so hopefully it works. But I wanted to ask you this question. Are there people, situations, or circumstances where you experience triggers? You have a hard time being with certain people or certain things that come up in your life. You feel a certain thing in your body. I know for me, one of the things that I really struggle with is trust. I'm naturally not a very trusting person. And because I'm a storyteller, what happens in my brain is I'm always doing this. I'm converting what people say into a story in my brain, and I'm visualizing what they're saying. So it's almost like my brain is putting pieces to the puzzle together. And if it makes sense, and if all the pieces fit together, I'm like, okay, good. I can trust this person. But if there's gaps missing, I'm trying to fill the gaps with what they're not saying. And my spidey senses and my brain goes on autopilot. But the thing is, I see this. And the problem with it, with not trusting, is that sometimes people that can really be trustworthy, that aren't out to get me, I misinterpret that and it causes conflict. And recently, this has been showing up for me a lot because it's a trigger. And triggers are messengers, messengers that something that gets to be transformed. So, usually, the problem that we're seeing right in front of us isn't actually the problem. The problem is coming from something in the past, but we're just not always aware of it. So when these triggers come up, when these trust things come up and there's the puzzle pieces missing, my default is you're lying. I can't trust you. Then what happens is I start looking for more evidence that you're lying. The person on the other side is wondering what the heck is going on here. And it's such a beautiful thing to be able to see this in the moment. It's hard because we have to be responsible. Like, this is our shit coming up. This has nothing to do with what's going on over there. But when you can actually sit in the trigger and ask yourself, what is really going on? One of the phrases that I use is, what's the thing under the thing? What's this showing me? What do I get to see? And sometimes we got to discern, is this intuition or is this a trigger? So when these things come up for me and I'm processing this information and putting all the pieces to the puzzle, one of the strategies that I learned that has been hard for me is to communicate. Something doesn't make sense. Let me just check something out. That one little phrase, let me just check something out. Now, sometimes people can get offended by that, and that's okay because at the end of the day, what we're trying to do when we're becoming more conscious, more self aware, we're trying to figure out our own stuff. And I have a fear sometimes of communicating. I have a fear of seeming distrusting, mistrusting, I don't know what the right word is, but that's an inauthentic way of being because I'm really not trusting, but I'm pretending that I am trusting. So we got to be aware of these things that come up because when we can look within, I'm telling you, it's confronting, but it's also very powerful because when you can be responsible for those things and you start seeing them, you're going to get a lot of lessons. You're going to get a lot of opportunities to practice letting go what's in the way. I'm getting a lot of opportunities to practice trust. It's been one of those things since I was really little that I really struggle with. So, whatever your trigger is, maybe it's trust. Maybe you feel left out. Maybe you feel like you're not heard. Maybe there's people that aren't communicating the way that you need them to. Whatever it is for you, know that you're not alone. This is a human condition. Now, a lot of people will think, no, 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 I don't have triggers. I've done the personal work. I never get X, Y, and Z. That's an inauthenticity. So if you're sitting there and you're saying, I never get triggered, um, really look within and be like, okay, what's the fear of getting triggered? What's the fear of being emotional? What's the fear that's stopping you from experiencing that? Because I do believe that underneath all of our triggers is an unconscious fear. an unconscious fear that we're not willing to see. But when we are willing to see it and we're willing to be responsible for it, there is no bigger growth opportunities in the world than seeing these triggers. Um, and if you happen to have somebody in your life, a coach, a mentor, a friend, a partner that's willing to hold space when you're in the trigger, because doesn't this happen sometimes when we're triggered, when we're feeling defensive, when we're feeling that we can't trust, especially women? Okay. Women, I want to share this with you guys. Women are very emotional. We contain a lot, and then sometimes we need to just dump and get it out. Now, our partners, men in our life, they're more grounded, they're more like real masculine energy, should be able to contain all of the emotions. A lot of masculine males aren't able to contain it. But if you're a man listening and your wife comes home and she wants to vent and all you have to do is say this one phrase. Is there anything else? Let her go off, let her get it out, and this will help her just feel grounded, feel centered, feel calm, be the calm in her storm. But when you can actually have an outlet to express what's there without the fears, you can release it a lot quicker. So I don't know what you're hearing in this. Let me know if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook or Substack. Let me know what you're hearing. If you had the thought in your head, like, I don't have triggers, or if you had the thought in your head, man, I'm a walking trigger, know that you're not alone. I really believe this is the cause of so many relationship breakdowns because we are walking triggers. We just don't have the consciousness or awareness to see that it's a trigger and it's there to help you release it. And if you can actually own it, sit in it, be responsible for it, it looks like it's out there. It looks like it's him or her. It's really not. It's all in here. And no matter how good or bad of a life you've had, we still have these triggers. We still have things, patterns from the past that come up. We think that it's our personality, it's the identity we created when something happens. We make a decision of who we have to be so that we don't feel those strong emotions. And then what happens is we put up a filter and then another filter and another filter. And what we're walking around is a whole bunch of filters, calling it our personality, the hyperachiever, the pleaser, the one who's holding it all together. But when we can start seeing those filters as just protective mechanisms, trauma responses, then we can slowly start releasing them. And when we can release them, we can get underneath what am I really afraid of? If I release them, what does that mean? We got to go back. And I don't live in the past. I'm very forward thinking, but I also know that the past will come up if it's not complete. And most of the things that have happened in our life, these little things, the big things, the decisions that we make about others, about ourselves, they come up when they're ready to come up. And sometimes, if not sometimes, if you are somebody who is holding space for others, you better believe your triggers are going to come up with more velocity because the game that you're playing is bigger. When I work with entrepreneurs, I say all the time, if you're not getting triggered, if you're not getting confronted, if things aren't coming up for you, consider that you're not playing a big enough game. And if you're holding space for others, you get to be hit with that with velocity because it's part of your expansion. It's part of holding space for yourself, for others, because when you have clients that you're working with, they're going to come with a whole bunch of triggers. The more you see in yourself, the more you can see in others. So let me know what you're seeing for yourself. Let me know what you're hearing. Let me know what you're feeling. And if this makes sense and if this resonates, know that it's exactly where you're supposed to be. And know that the more honest we can be with ourselves, the faster the transformation. Lying to ourselves never helps anybody. Being truthful with the shit that we're carrying, um, it's very powerful. It's very confronting, but it's very powerful. So hopefully this is live streaming and I'm not just talking to myself right now, but let me know what you're hearing, what you're seeing. And if you have a burning question, If you have something that you've been grappling with and you're not sure how to deal with it, send me a message. I'd love to create a video. So many of my friends reach out and they're like, okay, I'm struggling with this with my teenager. I'm struggling with this with my husband. He's always forgetting to take out the garbage. And I'm like, it's never about the garbage, girl. It's never about the garbage. But sometimes we need a different reframe. And that simple reframe is going to help you um, live with more joy and more freedom and more happiness in your life. Okay. So, anyways, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching.